Hello my dear students, myself Dr. Nilesh Kumar Gupta. I am working as a professor at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. So, generally I was talking about the DFT, that is discrete Fourier transform, okay, that we will consider in discrete time signal. Whenever you want to take the Fourier transform of discrete time signal, then you prefer discrete Fourier transform. So, discrete Fourier transform generally will be taken for the finite length discrete time sequences, and those will be periodic also. Okay. So, in last class I discussed about the circular convolution. So, convolution, then this lecture title is what? Convolution in DFT. How you convolute your signal in terms of, in case of discrete Fourier transform, because this convolution is different. This is different than your normal linear convolution, because you are taking here discrete time sequences, these are of finite length and also periodic property these having. So, this convolution is called circular convolution. Okay. Now, so in circular convolution, in last class I discussed in short this question, if x1 n x2 n is given to you. Okay. Now, at first the sequences you have to show from these equations, this will be x1 n and this will be x2 n. Okay. Now, what if you perform, if you want to calculate circular convolution between these two sequences, so you have to keep your sequences of same length, same finite length. But if you see these sequences, so it is having the length of 4 and this is of length of 5. So, the sequence is not of same finite length here. So, you have to make its length is finite. Okay. So, for that what you have to add 0 in the x1 n, okay, at the last. Now, its length is 5, its length is, now you can convolute this, or you can convolute, you can determine the circular convolution between these two sequences x1 n and x2 n. Now, and if you convolute, then you will get this answer here, and also this answer is of finite length or fixed length of 5. At 0 you will get 3, at 1 it is 0, then at 2 it is minus 3, at 3 it is minus 2, and this at 4 it is 2. So, in this way you can calculate this, and it is shown in the figure in my next PPTs also. Okay. You can see here. So, if you see here, so at first you are representing your sequences like x1 n and x2 n, that we are writing here. Okay. This is x1 n and this is x2 n. In circle form you have to represent the signals. So, in this way you can write 1 1 minus 1 0. Similarly, x2 n 1 0 minus 1 0 1. Now, these two will be the your original sequences. So, now at m is equal to 0, what is the formula? You know the formula, x3 m is equal to summation from n 0 to, so here your capital N is equal to 5, that is given in the question here. Okay. क्वेश्चन में दिया हुआ है आपको, पर आप सर्कुलर कंवोल्यूशन जब भी निकाल पाओगे whenever the length of both the sequences is same here, then you can conclude, you can determine. Okay. So, but here also fortunately it is given capital N is equal to 5, it means you have to taken the length of sequences of 5 here. So, you have to go from n 0 to 4, x1 n into of what? x1 n into x2 of m minus n. Now, if you put m is equal to 0, so x3 0 is equal to what will happen? It will be n 0 to 4 x1 n into x2 of minus n. So, you what you need it? You will need x2 minus of n. Then you can multiply and you will calculate x3 of 0, that will be 3. So, now you will see here x2 minus n. So, here you will you have x2 n, x2 minus of n you have to determine. x2 minus n matlab means what? You have to fold your signal. It means if you are going anti-clockwise, so in the folding you have to go clockwise, or you have to go clockwise. So, in fold you have to go anti-clockwise. So, x2 of minus n what will happen? So, it will be 1 0 this one, then it will be 1 0, okay. The circle will be different, the rotation of circle will be different. So, it will be 1 0 this one. So, 1 1 0 minus 1 0, this will be your folded sequence x2 minus 1. Now, in this both for these two sequences you have to multiply and you will calculate your product sequence in this form. So, if your product sequence you will see here, so 1 into 1, so 1. Now, product this and this and this, so 1 into 1, 1. Now, 0 this one, so 0. Now, again 1 into minus 1, minus 1 into minus 1, so it will be 1. Now, this 0 into this and this will be 0. So, this will be product sequence. Now, your sequences are 1 plus 1 2 0 3. So, your answer will be 3. So, at 0 what you are getting? You are getting at 0 it is its value is 3. So, it is very simple here. Now, if you put m is equal to 1, so it will be x1 n into x2 of 1 minus n. So, like previous questions, okay, you can do here what? Now, you require x2 1 minus n. So, you have to shift your one sample in anti-clockwise direction of x2 minus of n. So, x2 1 minus n will be this one, this will be. Now, x2 1 minus n and your x1 n, you have to multiply, you know the x1 n, okay. So, product sequence will be this form. Now, your x3 1 will be the 1, so it will be 1 minus 1 0, so it will be 0. Now, at 1 its value will be 0. Now, again m is equal to 2 you have to put here. So, x1 n into x2 of 2 minus n. So, you have to shift either x2 minus of n by 2 samples in anti-clockwise direction, or you have to shift in anti-clockwise direction by 1 sample of x2 1 minus n. या तो x2 माइनस n को 2 सैंपल से आप एंटी-क्लॉकवाइज में शिफ्ट कर दो, या x2 1 माइनस n को आप एक सैंपल से एंटी-क्लॉकवाइज में शिफ्ट कर दो. इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन यू. So, this will be this one. Okay. Now, what you want to calculate x3 2, again you will have this x2 2 minus n. Now, if you product this x2 2 minus n and x1 n, so you will get this product sequence. Now, this product minus 1 minus 2 minus 3. So, answer will be minus 3. So, at 2 its value will be minus 3, this. Then, at 3 it will be minus 2, at 4 it will be 2. So, in this way you can calculate easily here your all the values like x3 4, x3 3, and you can conclude your answer here. So, in this way you can calculate circular convolution between the two finite length sequences, okay, easily here. Okay. So, it will be easy to all of you. Now, we will see second method of circular convolution, that is linear convolution using DFT. So, using DFT also you have to determine your convolution in linear form. So, it is also possible. ऐसा नहीं सर्कुलर कन्वोल्यूशन से ही आप कर पाओगे. You can calculate here your linear convolution using the DFT. What will happen and how will happen, that we will see here. Like yn is, you know what, xn and hn if is given to you. Now, in linear convolution what will happen? in linear convolution, if x of n sequence is given to you, okay, in any system, and this is your output y of n, and this is your impulse response h n, then you can calculate your output y of n, that will be linear convolution between the x n and h n. Now, this is the condition that you have to follow here. What? Your length of this will be is of as per this formula, that is n 1 plus n 2 minus 1. n 1 n 2 is what? n 1 you can say the length of x of n, and n 2 is the length of h of n. So, in this way you can calculate your output of the DTS also, discrete time system, because generally we are discussing, we are calculating, we are doing all these for the discrete time system, and your objective is what? Your objective is to calculate your output of your LTI system, discrete time system. So, you can calculate this output by this formula only, and this will be the necessary condition. Now, if you are calculating your output of by the this linear convolution formula, so by DFT IDFT also it will be possible. What? That you can also what? Convolution form, always you know your convolution format always is converted in any domain into the simple product form. So, if you convert this into transform form, so it will be always in simple product x k into h k. So, if you calculate the DFT of x of n, so you will get x of k. If you calculate the DFT of h of n, then you will get h of k, and if you multiply this, okay, like, so you will get y k. So, y k is equal to x k into of h k, this y k you will get here. Now, you are interested to calculate small y of n. So, how you calculate? You have to take its inverse discrete Fourier transform, and its IDFT y of n is equal to what? IDFT of this one. So, y of k, if you want to calculate y of small y of n, so it will be IDFT of y k, or IDFT of y k means IDFT of x k into h k. So, in this way also you can calculate linear convolution between the two sequences using DFT and IDFT. Okay. So, I hope it is clear to everybody, and this is also some process I am showing in the my PPT by the some diagram. So, you can understand here also. So, this is your you know your system x n and h n are given to you, then you can calculate y of n, y of n is equal to x n convolution of h n. Now, if you convert its in frequency domain, so it will be capital X of E j omega, this will be capital H E j omega, and this will be y of E j omega. So, this is the simple its frequency domain, okay, because you are representing by the omega here. Now, if you convert this into n point sample, okay. Now, in case of DFT, you are coming here, n point means you are coming here in the terms of DFT. So, it will be x k, k means here k also shows the frequency domain, but this frequency domain only for the n point samples, or you can consider you can take for DFT only. Okay. So, s k x k into h k it will happen, and it will be y of k. Okay. It is very simple, that I explained in my previous PPT here. Now, this is what you know the according to properties of circular convolution, what if you are taking the circular convolution between the two finite discrete time sequences, and then its DFT will be this in this form x k into h k. Okay. That is why I am writing this one, and this will be according to spectral sampling. Okay. So, and this is the sufficient condition that you have to take care of. Okay. You have to remember what, that your length always minimum it will be n 1 plus n 2 minus 1. N 1 is the length of first sequence like for the x 1 and x n, and n 2 is length of the second sequence like for h n. Now, linear convolution through the circular convolution, how it is possible? So, if you have to convert through the circular convolution, so always you have to what? You have to remember this condition, what, your L should be at least equal to the n 1 plus n 2 minus 1. So, like in this question, to find the linear convolution through the circular convolution with padding of zeros, actually you have to keep your length of at least this one, at least as per this equation. So, you have to add some elements here. So, if you add the 0, then there will be no effect of the on the output. So, that is called padding of zeros, okay, padding of 0. Like in this question or in this example, you can see if small h of n is equal to 1 to 4. So, at 0 it is 1, then 2 and 4 is given to, and at x n it is only 1 2. So, okay. So, at 0 it is 1, at 1 it is 2. Now, n 1 is equal to 3, the length of first sequence is 3 and length of second sequence is 2, n 2 is equal to 2. But what you know, what you have to keep this one, that your L or your n, the length of this one n 1 plus n 2 minus, that is 4. So, length of the sequences will be equal to 4 of for the both the sequences. If you want to take here linear convolution through the circular convolution. तो सर्कुलर कन्वोल्यूशन पहली चीज तो क्या है कि फाइनाइट लेंथ तो होगी बिकॉज डिस्क्रीट टाइम सीक्वेंसेस से सिग्नल है, इन दोनों की सीक्वेंसेस की जो लेंथ है वो भी सेम होनी चाहिए, प्लस व्हाट, प्लस क्या होना चाहिए, आफ्टर दैट व्हाट, द लेंथ ऑफ बोथ द सीक्वेंस एज पर दिस इक्वेशन, that is 4. So, but the length of h of n is only 3. So, you have to make it 4. So, you have to add 1 0 here, padding of zeros. So, 1 0 if you add, so your what, your h n is equal to 1 2 4 0. Now, your h n is equal to 1 2 4 0 and what x n क्या दिया था आपका, x n is given to you 1 2, but you have to make its length is 4, minimum 4. So, you have to add 2 zeros here, you have to pad 2 zeros. Now, your length is 4. So, this is x n, this is h n. Now, you can calculate your easily here linear convolution through the circular convolution. So, if you want to calculate your linear convolution through the circular convolution, so this condition you have to keep in your mind, then you can determine easily here, do not worry. Now, this is the question, what, okay, you can calculate your what, your convolution here, linear convolution here. So, x 1 n and x 2 n. So, 1 2 4 is given to you and x n is equal to 1 and 2 is given to you. Okay. Again what, in the previous question, the same question here. So, n 1 is equal to 3, n 2 is equal to 3. So, it will be 4. So, okay, if you have to make it 4, then what, h n is equal to, it will be 1 2 4 0, okay, and x n is equal to 1 2 0 0. In previous slide also I told you the same thing. Now, you can calculate y n is equal to, you know, x n convolution of h n. The formula for linear convolution is what, summation k minus infinity plus infinity x k into h of n minus k. Now, you put your n is equal to 0. So, y of 0 is equal to x k into h of minus k. So, you have to multiply this and finally, you have to take the summation here. So, you will get it is 1. So, in the same process of the linear convolution, you can calculate all the values here, x of 0, similarly y of 0, sorry, because you are taking the output here. So, at small n barabar 0, at small n is equal to 1, y of n you can calculate and it will be 4 if you calculate, because I hope linear convolution is clear to all of you. You know very well how you calculate the linear convolution, because here we are using the formula of what? This is the formula of linear convolution. Now, at y 2 you will get 8 and y of 3 you will get 8. Now, your answer will be, it is also of, because you are doing linear convolution through the circular convolution. So, your output sequence also is of finite and it will be same like your input sequences length, because input sequence length kitni thi 4. So, its length also 4, at 0 it is 1, at 1 it is 4, at 2 it is 8, at 3 is equal to 8. Okay. So, I hope it is clear to everybody how you calculate linear convolution through the circular convolution and what condition you have to keep in your mind, then you can calculate easily here. Now, so in this circular convolution also you can represent in matrix form, and in matrix form if you represent this one keeping in mind these datas. So, you can represent in matrix form and you can conclude also this in terms of your output, that will be 1 4 8 8. So, here after the sequences are padded with zeros, the sequences values obtained by circular convolution is the same as those produced by the linear convolution. So, answer will be same here if you are using the padding, what, padding zeros or not. Okay. So, your answer will be same here. Now, again a question we will see here, find the linear convolution using DFT. Now, you have to use DFT, but again you have to keep in your mind this condition, what, it will be n 1 plus n 2 minus 1. So, its length is, it at 0 it is 1, at 0 it is 2. So, length 3 will be possible. So, it will be 1 2 0 and this will be h of n is equal to what. So, this is the misprint, you can clear here 2 1 0. Find the linear convolution using the DFT. So, what in this way, in this what you have to do, x n and h n are given to you. So, at first you can calculate x of k, here your n is equal to 3, then you can calculate h of k, n is equal to 3 again. Okay. So, at first you can calculate x of k. So, at 0, at 1, at 2, because your n is equal to 3, okay, and you have to go from 0 to 2. So, at 0 you will calculate, if you solve numerically here, okay, that also I told at the time of DFT explanation, when I explained DFT. So, in detail I told you how you calculate the DFT of this one. So, x of k is, this is the DFT of your small x of n, and you can calculate numerically here, and what, at 0 it is 3, at 1 it will be minus j 1.732, at 2 it will be plus j 1.732. Similarly, h of k you can, this is what, this is the DFT of what, h of n, that is also given to you, and you can calculate, at 0 it is 3, at 1 it is this one, at 2 it is this one. So, you can calculate h of k also with the help of the formula of DFT. DFT formula is what? Summation from small n 0 to n minus 1 small x of n into e to the power minus ka j 2 pi small n k by capital N. Here capital N is equal to what? 3. You are going from 0 to 2 here, and you can calculate your h of k here. Now, y of k. So, y of k is equal to x k into h k. You know here, you know in linear convolution y of k is equal to x k into h k. So, you have to multiply x k and h k. So, at 0 that was 3 and that was 3, 3 are 9. So, at 0 it is 9, at 1 it is, at 2 it will be this one. Now, y of k you are having here. Finally, what you have to calculate y of small of y of n. So, small of y of n, how you calculate? You have to take its IDFT. And what is the formula of IDFT? Y of n is equal to 1 upon n summation from k 0 to, here n is 3, to what? Y of k into e to the power plus का j 2 pi k small n by capital N is 3. Now, by this formula you have to put small n is equal to 0, small n is equal to 1, small n is equal to 2, and then you can calculate its value at 0, 1 and 2, and finally, you will get your output of the LTI system under the linear convolution through the circular convolution, and this is the motive generally we have for us. Okay. So, y of n is equal to, if you calculate in this way, these type of terms will come here, that I explained in detail earlier in my previous video lectures. So, y of n is equal to 252, at 0 it is 2, at 1 it is 5, at 2 it is 2. So, this will be your final answer. Okay. Now, linear filtering based upon the DFT. So, linear filtering, how it is possible? Linear filtering here, that will be based on DFT, discrete Fourier. So, since the DFT provides what DFT, what your DFT, what provides DFT here? So, DFT provides a discrete frequency representation. Okay. It means x of k, okay, of a finite duration sequences x 1 n, x 2 n in the frequency domain. So, this is k is what? K used for sample, but it is in frequency domain. It is interesting to explore its use as a computational tool for linear system analysis and especially for linear filtering, that I am talking here. We have already established that a system with frequency response h of omega when excited with an input has a x omega. So, h omega is your impulse response, frequency domain, x omega is your impulse, frequency domain of your excited signal or input signal. So, your y omega is equal to x omega into, this will be x omega into your h omega. Okay. The output y of n you can determine by taking the what? If y of omega से आपको y of n निकालना है, तो आप इसका what? You can take the inverse Fourier transform here, and by taking the inverse Fourier transform you can calculate your answer here. So, in this way, in the frequency domain you can calculate, in frequency domain your original output signal. Similarly, DFT also you can calculate these all easily. Okay. So, and particularly these will be performed by using some more efficient techniques or algorithm, those are called FFT. FFT means fast Fourier transform. So, by using fast Fourier transform, it will be more easy to you calculate DFT of your signals. Thank you very much.